So I was watching the Ghost Ship publishing stream yesterday, and well.
So now I can say that we're moving on to Deep Rock Galactic, the game, the big
Season
game,
5, come on.
And what's been cooking.
I'm so
we've
nervous.
been working on something.
We are gonna show you a trailer, a teaser, announcement teaser.
A trailer?
And,
Drum roll.
roll it, Mike.
Oh.
Mark.
Okay, here we go. Season 5. What is it? Expedite? Close to the core of the planet Hoxis. Oh my god, is this it? Oh my god. The action of Expedite begins. Is it a new mission type? Or a new biome? Since warning the deep mining operation called Darkle attempts at entering the dig sites fail. The core has gone rogue, what? Rogue Core. Rogue Core Season 5. Claim vessel, the Ramrod, destination Hoxis 4, crew 4, mission reclaim the core. What? Is this a mission type? Rogue Core. Oh, what? Oh, I see. It's a different game. What? It's not.
So that was our
Oh my.
teaser.
It's a new game?
Rogue Core with
Oh my
Mike.
god, it's a.
Goodbye, everyone.
It's a new game. Holy shit.
And,
Yes, indeed, this is not Season 5, it is actually a whole new game made by Ghost Ship. It's a roguelike game, or a roguelite game, built on Deep Rock's already existing templates, with destructible environments and randomly generated caves. Not much is known right now, because they like just teased it, and they're gonna have a closed alpha next year, in I think January, they said. But right now, I think they said that they only have the general gameplay done, and the game looks terrible. So they managed to scrape together a few screenshots to show, which I'll show here. And it looks like a really weird DRG, which I think is what they're trying to do. I mean, it's a spin-off, so it makes sense. It's gonna be more focused around horror, and the dwarves are gonna be even more badass, apparently. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but yeah, that's gonna be a real challenge. You don't start off with any equipment at all. I think they said all classes start the same with the same equipment, and then you find equipment that we've seen from DRG, like in one of the screenshots in this one. The player had a smart lock rifle. Same thing with traversal tools, apparently. You'll find traversal tools, which I guess are limited in number, and then you can use them in the mission to help you. So it's a really cool spin on DRG. I'm assuming it's gonna feel more like a survival game, where you're actually, like, you know, you can't escape the caves, you have to go into the core, apparently, which they also said. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. But apparently it will be 5 missions, and instead of having like a scaled difficulty where the whole mission kind of like feels the same difficulty, it's gonna scale up tremendously this time. They might even have more than 5, they said, the 5 missions. So if DRG is gonna have a kind of dungeon-esque game where you go through the caves and you collect Expedite to get more gear and find gear in the caves, and then you go fight a boss or fight a wave, that's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited for that. So you're playing as this team of elite dwarves, pretty much. They're called the Reclaimers, and they're the ones that get sent in when shit hits the fan, pretty much. I really thought that was the dwarves we play as, because I remember in previous Steam descriptions and stuff, they described the dwarves as being kind of like the SWAT unit of space, but apparently that's these guys. And they're even more professional than the dwarves we play as. So these are the guys that get sent in when like stuff is really bad. Their mission is to go to the core of Hoxis and reclaim as many mining operations as possible. Get as much equipment back, I guess. It sounds like they're there to pretty much salvage whatever they can salvage, and also, you know, go into the core, I guess, to neutralize it, to make it like unrogued or something. I don't know, it's still a very loose topic. We don't really have much to go on. It's still being developed. But yeah, this game sounds really unique. I don't think I've ever played a mining co-op roguelite FPS before. it just sounds so original. But yeah, as for the roguelite elements, in my mind, there's two kind of roguelike games. They're separated into how items work and how difficulty works. And in those two categories, there are two kinds of games in my mind. So first with items, Risk Rain 2 is a good example because Risk Rain 2 has a system where if you just play a run for long enough, you'll end up with like pretty much the same build in most cases. Like if you, because you know there's a set number of items and you can get them all over time, and you can play the game infinitely until you die. So in that way, a lot of the runs become very similar. And then on the opposite spectrum, you have a game like Binding of Isaac, which is like there's just so many items in the game that every run becomes unique in its own way. I prefer a game like Binding of Isaac because there's just more variety. I don't want to play like the same run infinitely and then have like the same build in the end game. To me, that is just not very fun. I would much rather have it be extremely varied and a lot of times really easy and other times very difficult. Not that Risk Rain 2 isn't difficult, but to me I just didn't enjoy it as much as I would have hoped. So I would definitely prefer Rogue Core to have more of a Binding Isaac kind of style to it, in terms of items. And then the other category, which is difficulty, there's also two kinds of games. It's either if the game is like more luck-based, or if it's more based around skill. So like Binding of Isaac again, like Binding of Isaac takes a lot of skill, but again, like if you get bad items for your whole run, I mean you can still beat the run, but you're not gonna like, it's just gonna take a very long time, you know? If you know how the game works, then your skill can allow you to get better items as well. But for the most part, a lot of runs in Isaac, the way a lot of people play the game, is like, you don't get a good item, then your run is like over pretty much. And then you have a game like Dead Cells, which is like, it never feels like you get a really broken build because the game kind of keeps your build in check. You can still have a build that like one-shots every enemy, but then at the same time, the enemies are probably going to one-shot you back. Now, I'm not saying I want like Dead Cells difficulty in Rogue Core, but they mentioned Enter the Gungeon on their last stream, and if it's going to be anything like Enter the Gungeon, then hell yeah, that game is amazing. It has just the right mix of skillful gameplay and also good items helping you in the run. But items won't carry you to the end, pretty much. To beat the game, you need to know how to fight the bosses and how not to take damage in the floors, and that just comes with practice. That's what I also want with Rogue Core. I would much rather have the game be about skill, because skill is something you can control. And it is also a co-op game at heart. So, for example, this menu is going to be really interesting because when you're playing with randoms, and this menu gives you like a, I guess, permanent or maybe a one-time use buff for your team, it's going to be interesting to see how people cooperate with that system in mind, and also how it will affect the gameplay as a roguelike or roguelite. And then there's a delay. Season 5 will be about Rogue Core apparently, but because Ghost Ship is focusing on working on the game Rogue Core right now, they've delayed the release date of Season 5 until June next year, which means that the gap between Season 4 and Season 5 will be 11 months. Now this could change down the line, allegedly, but Ghost Ship has stated now that they fully understand if people are upset or disappointed in them. But as a compromise, they have promised to be more open about their development and spend more time on communication with their fan base, which is it's going to make it more transparent what they're working on. I mean, the first thought I had after seeing Rogue Core being a new game, I was just like, oh, okay. At least now we know what they've been working on for so long, because the gap between each season has increased. I think from season 3 to 4 there was a 7-month gap. However, the gap between season 1 and 2 was only about 5 months apparently. Season 1 came out in November 2021 and season 2 came out in April 2022. So that's, yeah, 5-6 months. People also complained that Season 4 didn't have enough content and that Ghost Ship didn't communicate well enough during this time. So you could tell that they were kind of working on something else. People started speculating that DRG was gonna get put on like on autopilot for a while, and they were like not gonna spend as much time working on updates, and just kind of leave the game at that. They started working on publishing, which none of that is true. I think we probably know now that they were working on Rogue Core, and I mean it sounds like a really interesting and fresh project, and I think they also kind of want to go back to the roots of making an early access game and taking the community's feedback into consideration to create like the best game possible. DRG was only in early access for 2 years before it fully released, and I mean most of the content I remember was content that was in early access. We used to have like monthly updates, or like once every 2 months or whatever, and they just added whatever they thought were cool or whatever they thought would like fit the game. And then when 1.0 came out, updates started to like slow down, and then eventually we had the season implementation. And so far since 2021, we have had 4 seasons. I mean, it's just really slow, and I don't want the developers to crunch, because I think crunching is a very inhumane thing to do, like most people. Even though it's literally part of my name. It's just a very long time to wait, so I get if people are impatient, and now that like the delay between season 4 and 5 is gonna be 11 months as well, it's like, yeah. But I still think this is gonna be like playing DRG for the first time again, probably. It's a fresh project with a really unique concept and very, very passionate devs that really take game development seriously, and they really do listen to feedback. So I think this game has enormous potential. It's going to be a whole new experience. And so I ask, what could go wrong? It is slightly concerning that Ghost Ship is choosing to put all their eggs in one basket here with this, putting Deep Rock on a hiatus and choosing to focus on this brand new game. But I mean, sometimes you just get kind of burnt out, and I mean, you don't want to work with the same thing forever. So it is understandable, and again, it's a fresh new project, and it looked like everyone on the stream were really excited to tell us about it, and also to work on it, to work on something new for once, or, you know, something a little bit different.
We are fully aware that we are, you can say, pushing expectation for when Season 5 would drop, but on the other hand, I think we're also super excited about actually doing something that feels a little bit different. And,
yes.
And I think that are pushing us, right, are challenging us. This is a big challenge, right, compared to what just doing another season. Not that we don't have fun doing another season, because we
and those are also challenging. I'm just
they're
gonna say.
also challenging, but it's just this thing about starting a new game and doing that. There's a completely different level of commitment.
The team's excited. And...
Yeah.
Sorry that this whole video is just a rant, but I was really excited about this and kind of overwhelmed at the same time. I didn't know where to begin. But yeah, I still hope it was enjoyable. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think about the game, and I'll let Mikkel do the outro.
Rock and Stone! Alright, thank you for watching.